Hey selectors, I'm Jack and this is the assist line. Wixoss cards and sets mostly feature characters and art that are made in-house and unique to Takuratomy, but once in a while, they'll collaborate and feature other IPs. Niji Sanji is the most notable example with CPO1 or Collaboration Pack 1. Another collab project with Nanbu, a JP Idol group, was featured in P14, but it was only half the set. It was the same for Prepara in P10. But coming up after P14, we're in for another full-scale collaboration project with CPO2. This time, Blue Archive and its characters are coming to Wixoss. And to all the Blue Archive fans out there, Wixoss is a trading card game that features a lot of stuff that Blue Archive players like me enjoy. Great gameplay, amazing art, and of course, that gacha high that you can ride when you open packs, just like recruiting students. If you want to experience what being sensei and approving transfers is actually like in real life, go pick up a box or two of Wixoss cards and try it with a friend. If you need more convincing, check out my video in the description about why you should try Wixoss, or if you're already on board, there's a how to play video down there too. Anyway, back to my anime trading card game viewers. For those of you who've never seen it, Blue Archive is a Korean mobile game made by Nexon that really took off in the last few years. Now it has its own anime and endless Comiket merch. When playing Blue Archive, you take the role of sensei to the students going to school in the world of Kivotos. Only instead of doing math problems, you're leading them into battle. In fact, there's a power struggle and tense relationships between various schools like Gehenna, Trinity, Abydos, Red Winter, and others, where the student councils serve as governmental bodies over their cities and towns. As sensei, it's your job to help the students grow as people, resolve their differences, and cooperate to rise up against the enemies that threaten all of Kivotos. The story is generally lighthearted and has a don't think about it too hard kind of vibe. But the writing is actually really good, the stories are very enjoyable, the characters are fun and interesting, and sometimes the plot goes absolutely off the rails into some of the most intense and absolutely fire stories. Other than that, the gameplay is fun, featuring lots of story missions, themed events with fun adventures, solid art, memorable characters, and challenging raid bosses that you can test your skill against. Look, it's hard to say that this is a Coomer game with other stuff like Nikke, Brown Dust, and Azur Lane out there, but it's somewhere on that spectrum, just FYI. Anyway, Blue Archive is a generally great game, and the collab set is likewise pretty fire. So a bit about CPO2. First off, the set is 4 colors, with Blue Archive having no red cards. 4 popular students, Azusa, Hina, Neru, and Shiroko, are the centers for Blue Archive and each offer very different playstyles. And the servants for CPO2 feature Sensei's digital secretary, Arona. Also, instead of the gold foiling on SRPs and LRPs, Blue Archive has vibrant and unique cyan foiling that really complements the unique art that was commissioned by Takuratomy for this collaboration project. Now let's talk about some mechanics. Blue Archive has a unique set mechanic, Relationship. You might hear some Blue Archive players, like me, refer to this mechanic as Bond, as saying Relationship is kind of cumbersome in both Wixoss and in the Blue Archive game. Just like in the game, if you bond with the various students, they get a lot stronger. All the students in CPO2 have additional abilities that you can use if you choose to bond with any of them. You do this by playing the set's unique pieces, which, like CPO1, are made to be used with Blue Archive decks and only with each other. And to show who you're bonded with, you can pull special foil cards to set out, which feature art from the students' in-game Live 2D bond event. Much like relay pieces from CPO1, you play a generic piece first and then your choice of one of the unique Blue Archive pieces from your Elric deck. While you can run any pieces you want, if you don't bond with your students, they're not as strong. The bond mechanic can also be used to buff up your assist and center Elrig, so it's pretty important. But that out of the way, let's talk about the colors, their centers, and what kind of playstyle they offer. White in Blue Archive is all the students from the Trinity School in Kivotos, featuring students from Trinity's various clubs and student orgs, like the Makeup Work Club, the Tea Party, the Justice Task Force, Remedial Knights, and the Sisterhood. The white center Elrig is Azusa, which lets you bounce a Signy every turn, and once per game, top check 7 and add 2. If you bond with Azusa, you can also pay 1 to top check 3 and add a Signy every turn. The white piece, which represents Trinity's governing body, also lets you top check, bond, and gives you a Signy barrier, which prevents the next Signy damage you would take. The white Signy for Trinity students do traditionally white things like give each other shadow, get really big and annoying, take away the abilities on your opponent's Signy, and enter starve your opponent by bouncing and trashing their Signy instead of vanishing them. Moving to blue, we have the Millennium School of Technology, featuring the Game Development Club, the Seminar, the Engineering Club, the Veritas Hackers, and of course, the mercenary secret agent maids of CNC. The blue center is CNC's strongest student and leader, Code 00, Neru. At the start of your attack phase, if you discarded 2 or more cards this turn, you can pay 1 blue and give a Signy minus 10k. Once per game, you can draw 2 cards and have your opponent discard a card at random, and if you bond with her, you can pay 1 to draw 2 cards and discard 1 every turn. The blue piece, Seminar, which is Millennium's treasury, lets you draw 4 cards, freeze your opponent's Elrig, and bond with a student. The blue Signy for Millennium students let you draw cards and discard cards to fuel powerful abilities like making your opponent discard and giving your opponent Signy minus power. A lot of those abilities make your opponent discard at random too, and kind of feel reminiscent of the universally loved cards like Monomine and Falalu. Now, let's talk about black. Black is the color of the Gehenna Academy, featuring the Prefect Team, the School Lunch Club, the Gourmet Research Society, and of course, Problem Solver 68. Black Center Elrig is none other than Class President Hina. Once per turn, during your turn, if a player puts 3 or more cards from their deck into their trash by an effect, all your opponent's Signy get minus 3k. Once per game, you can put 2 Signy with different levels from your trash onto your field, and if you bond with Hina, you can pay 2 and put a Signy from your trash onto your field once per turn. The black piece, Gehenna Prefect Team, lets you give a Signy minus 8k, salvage up to 3 non-guard Signy from your trash, and put the top 8 cards of your opponent's deck into their trash and then bond with a student. In general, the black Signy featuring Gehenna students give your opponent's Signy minus power, can trash other Signy, bring back Signy from your trash, and mill your opponent's deck to fuel your abilities and refresh them. That leaves us with one color, green. Green in Blue Archive is a bit different as it not only features students from the Derelict School of Abydos and its Foreclosure Task Force, but also from the Hakyako School with students from the Ninjutsu Club, the Interdiscipline Club, the Festival Operations Department, and even the Yin Yang Club. Green Center Elrig is the student with the most main character energy and a long life as the game's de facto mascot, Shiroko. At the start of the attack phase, if you enter charge 2 or more this turn, you can pay 1 at a green and give a Signy S-Lancer. Once per game, you can enter charge 3 and add a Signy from your enter to your hand. And if you bond Shiroko, you can pay 1 and add a Signy from your enter to your hand once per turn. The green piece, Masked Swimsuit Gang, lets you shuffle your trash into your deck, bond with a student, and top check 5 cards, adding any combination of them to your hand or enter. The green Signy featuring students from various schools and clubs do traditionally green things like enter charge, bounce in and out of your enter, get big power, and vanish your opponent's Signy. So that's a rough outline of every color kit in Blue Archive, but one thing we haven't talked about is the unique assists that come with this collab project. Each color actually has 2 different assist lines that share a common assist type. That's because in Blue Archive, the assist type comes from the student's club, not their name, so you can have a level 1 Nonomi that grows into a level 2 Ayane because they're both from the Foreclosure Task Force. The assists in blue are Asuna and Karen from CNC, the assists in white are Hifumi and Hanako from the Makeup Work Club, and the assists in black are Chinatsu and Iori from the Prefect Team. Each character has a level 1 assist Elrig and 2 different level 2 assists. There are a good mix of main phase assists that can create explosive turns and attack phase assists that are great at stopping damage. None of the assist Elrigs have abilities that cost color to enter, so you can run any of them that you want in any deck. And if you bond with any of the Blue Archive assists, they do things like draw you cards and enter charge. Some of them do very unique things like adding crafts to the field to block your opponent's Signy, or letting you mind game your opponent by stacking your deck and taking a chance at stopping their attacks based on what you reveal. Now, on that note, while the assists in Blue Archive do have abilities that only work with Blue Archive Signy, the center Elrigs in Blue Archive have no such limitations. So you can play a deck with Blue Archive Signy and regular centers and assists, or play Blue Archive centers with a normal deck. And though the Blue Archive pieces don't specify Blue Archive Signy in their text, they do bond, so they're definitely important if you want those bond abilities. So let's wrap this up. The Blue Archive collab set offers a set of Signy and centers that bring some new strategies and deck types to Wixoss. With new and unique card art from the character artists, amazing looking shiny cards, powerful new cards and new strategies, and overall a banger IP, the Blue Archive collab set is sure to be a hit. So I'd bet on seeing it across the table at your local game shop real soon. And thanks for using the assist line. Thank you for calling the assist line. The Wixoss media you requested is complete, however, please stay on the line for more content. To subscribe and receive more Wixoss content, please press the subscribe button on your screen now. The assist line values your feedback and encourages you to leave your comments in the indicated section. To repeat this media, press the replay button on your device. Yakyo. Hyakyakos